Across Nigeria, the news just landed like a body blow. The Super Eagles, the absolute pride of the nation, have failed to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
And this is so much more than just a bad run of form.
Oh, absolutely.
You have to understand this is the first time since their legendary debut back in 1994 that Nigeria has missed two consecutive World Cups.
And to make it worse, the door was wide open this time, wasn't it?
It was wider than ever. The number of African slots for 2026 was expanded up to 9 berths. For a team like Nigeria, a footballing giant, to not make it through that kind of opening, it signals something is deeply, deeply wrong.
Right? So for this deep dive, we decided to look past the final scores, past the missed penalties. We dug into the match reports, of course, but also into this tidal wave of public anger and expert analysis that all points to one thing.
Systemic failure.
Exactly. Chronic misgovernance right from the top. From the Nigeria Football Federation, the NFF.
Yeah, this isn't about blaming the players on the pitch. This is about trying to understand what happens when a country's incredible world-class talent is just consistently let down by the very people who are meant to be supported.
Okay, let's unpack this. It was a really tough road just to get to the final playoff stage.
It really was. They struggled for a while under the previous manager, Finidi George, who ended up stepping down.
And then Eric Chell comes in early 2025, and he leads this remarkable recovery, a desperate recovery, really.
It all came down to a 4-0 win against Benin, which was just enough to scrape into second place in their group and get into those playoffs.
That shows the talent is there, the fight is there. They make it to the CAF second-round playoffs in Morocco, and they
even survive a nail-biter of a semi-final against Gabon. They won it 4-1, but that was an extra time. Victor Osimhen scored a couple of huge goals to keep that dream alive, and
that set up the final showdown. November 16th, Nigeria versus DR Congo.
Everything on the line, and Nigeria starts like a house on fire.
At minute, Frank Onyedika scores. You're thinking, okay, this is it, this is our ticket.
But maybe it was too fast. DR Congo, they didn't panic. They got an equaliser around the 32nd minute, and from then on, the tension was it was almost unbearable.
It goes to extra time, ends 1-1. And then penalties.
Penalties. And this is where it gets tactical and just brutal. The most important moment wasn't even a Nigerian player. It was a substitution by DR Congo, right?
They brought on their backup keeper, Timothy
Fulu, in the 120th minute. He came on cold specifically for the shootout. And what a move. The man was a wall.
He was magnificent. He makes 2 massive saves.
And just like that, it's over. DR Congo wins 4-3. You see these huge names? Calvin Bassey, Moses, Simon Semi Aja Ayi, all missing their shots. The dream just evaporates.
The sporting consequence is just devastating for you, for the fans. But think about the players.
Oh, absolutely.
This generation, an incredible group missing 2022 and now 2026. That could mean a 12-year absence from the World Cup, maybe until 2030.
A player like Osimhen, arguably one of the best strikers in the world, in his absolute prime, he might never play on that global stage. And it's not because he isn't good enough, it's because the system failed him.
And if you want to understand why they looked so drained, so mentally exhausted in that final, you have to look at what was happening just before those games.
The chaos, the absolute chaos behind the scenes.
We're talking about a full-on boycott.
Yeah. Sources confirmed it just 2 days before that must-win semi-final against Gabon. The Super Eagles players, they downed tools. They refused to train.
A training boycott before a World Cup playoff semi-final. That tells you everything you need to know about the relationship, doesn't it?
It's completely broken. And the reason? Unpaid bonuses and allowances. Look, we're not talking about a few late payments. No, some of these debts go back 6 years, all the way to 2019.
And this is where the story shifts from just mismanagement to, well, something that looks a lot like a financial scandal.
Because this is the critical point. The players are being forced to fight for money they earned years ago instead of preparing for the biggest game of their lives. And it raises a huge, unavoidable question.
Where did the money go?
Exactly. This all happened after President Tinubu had approved a massive 12 billion Naira, 12 billion in January 2024. And that money was specifically earmarked to clear these outstanding debts for the national teams.
So let's get this straight. The government gives the NFF a huge pot of money, a bailout essentially, to fix this exact problem.
A huge injection of cash to settle the old debts so the team can focus on football.
And yet, almost 2 years later, players are boycotting training because they still haven't been paid for work they did in 2019.
It's staggering. It just makes no sense. Where did that 12 billion Naira go? I mean, that's the question on everyone's lips. That is the core of the public outrage.
The captain, William Trusty Kong, he was very careful with his words. He made it clear this wasn't about demanding some new crazy bonus.
No, this was about principle. He called them rightful demands. They were fighting for money they were contractually owed. That's a huge difference.
And this isn't some one-off incident, this pattern, this kind of revolt over money. It's chronic disease in Nigerian football. Yeah, we found some pretty grim historical examples.
Oh yeah, it goes way back. Sources brought up the situation around the 2002 World Cup qualifiers.
What happened there?
Well, according to former players, the allegation is that after the squad qualified, which triggered a big FIFA bonus of about $1 million, the NFF basically disbanded the team.
They just got rid of the players who qualified.
They removed key senior players, and the alleged reason, to avoid paying those players their agreed-upon 50% share of that bonus.
Wasn't a tactical decision. It was, according to these allegations, purely financial.
It was about protecting the administration's access to the money. So when you see history repeating itself like this, you realise this isn't just a mistake. It's how the system is designed to work.
Here's where it gets really interesting then. The crisis wasn't about on-pitch performance. Not yet. It was a total administrative breakdown that just poisoned everything. It destroyed the team's focus. That's the real tragedy here.
And that rot is what all the expert analysis points to. I mean, analysts, ex-players, they're all saying the same thing. This failure is not because of a lack of talent.
God, no. Nigeria is overflowing with talent.
It's because the administrative incompetence is crippling them from the inside.
Okay, so let's go deeper than just saying corruption. What are the specific structural problems that governance experts are pointing to? How can an organization like the NFF get 12 billion Naira and still not pay its debts?
Right. It's a failure with many layers, and it starts with a fundamentally broken government structure. Academics call it legal fragmentation.
What does that mean in simple terms?
It means too many people are in charge of the same thing. You have overlapping responsibilities between the Ministry of Sports, the National Sports Commission, all these different federations.
So there's no clear line of command. No single person or body is actually accountable for when, say, 12 billion Naira goes missing.
Precisely. Accountability is so diffused, it basically disappears. And that's made worse by something they call policy weakness. Okay, Nigeria has a national sports policy, but it has no teeth. It's not legally enforceable. Think of it like a list of suggestions instead of a book of rules.
Ah, I see. So NFF officials can promise to pay debts, but if the policy is just a recommendation, there are no actual legal consequences. If they break that promise, you've got it.
And that creates the perfect environment for what analysts call elite capture.
That sounds ominous.
It is. It means appointments to leadership jobs in sports aren't based on who's the best person for the job. You know, merit or competence, they're based on political loyalty and connections.
So you get politically connected people running the show instead of sports administration professionals. That guarantees instability, doesn't it?
Does. And you see the effects of that everywhere, not just with the Super Eagles. You see it in the poor training facilities. You see it in bizarre stories about jersey allocations issues. And you see it destroying the domestic game.
The Nigerian Professional Football League.
Yeah, the NPFL is struggling. Poor management, players aren't getting paid on time. It's losing its relevance. And that's the pipeline. For future talent, you're poisoning the well.
So it's this vicious cycle. The NFF is focused on politics and money. And the national team, no matter how many stars from Europe they bring in, ultimately pays the price.
The Super Eagles are just the most visible symptom of a system that has fundamentally failed. This crisis is just a symptom of a failing system that is in urgent need of a rescue. The consensus among the experts is clear. Only deep structural reform can fix this.
You can't just paper over the cracks.
No, the talent is there. It's always been there. But the spine of the organization is shattered.
So the path forward, according to the experts, requires some serious legislative action.
They talk about needing a proper, legally binding Sport Governance Act and critically establishing an autonomous National Sport Regulatory Commission.
An independent regulator.
Yes, that's the key. To take the power out of the hands of political appointees and put it into an independent body that can enforce transparency. You need mandatory public audits. You need financial disclosure so that when 12 billion Naira is approved for debts, you can track every last Naira.
This failing to qualify for an expanded World Cup, it feels like a real breaking point. It's the ultimate proof that talent alone just can't overcome this level of institutional sabotage.
And that's why the question for Nigeria's football future isn't really what reforms are needed anymore. The experts have laid that out pretty clearly.
The real question is, what tangible steps? What kind of pressure from citizens, from political opposition, maybe even from international partners like CAF and FIFA, can be applied right now to make sure these reforms actually happen, to make sure they become law and finally break this decades-long cycle of impunity? That's the fight that has to start now, off the pitch, if the Super Eagles ever hope to truly fly again.